Yo, what's up? I'm going to talk about a very interesting tip and trick thing that you can do based on a post in Electronauts made by Merlin, the one, the only creator of the Electron Octatrack guide. Merlin's Guide to the Octatrack. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. Today I'm going to be talking about a post he made called Pickup Machine Mayhem, which utilizes a, I believe, defunct parameter that only Mark I Octatracks can do. I think the OS for the Mark II's disabled this ability. In a nutshell, it's basically using the pickup machine and a special hotkey to multiply the length of the pickup machine that you're working with. So I have a pickup machine on track 2 here, and if I press the track key in MIDI, you'll see that the screen displays multiply. It basically means if I had a 4-step loop on the pickup machine, it'll double it and make it 8. And if it was 8, it'll double it and make it 16. Really cool. So I'm going to go through the exact steps that Merlin talks about in his post and just show y'all how to set it up. So this is kind of how we do it. It is a little involved, but trust me, it'll all be worth it. So the first thing you need besides this pickup machine, which I'm just going to set to track 2, I'll show you how to set that up later, is 2 flex machines. I'm going to use track 1 and track 5. And this is what we're working with. I'm just going to initialize this real quick. So on track 1, I have a pretty simple drum loop. Classic. On this track over here, it'll sound funny, but oh, maybe it won't. Just another drum loop. I'm going to basically use these to generate as much chaos as I can. I'm going to set down some trigs and have the trigs be basically just an engine that I can generate randomness with to capture with the pickup machine. So the first way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to lay down some trigs on every other step here, just a 16-bar loop. I'm going to move the start position to about the middle, although this really doesn't matter. I just do it out of habit because I'm used to using triangle waves on the LFOs. And then I'm going to do 3 things on the LFOs, set them all to random, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to choose my parameters to modulate, and I'm going to modulate them trig mode by trig so that it's random every time it encounters a new trig. The first thing I'm going to do is randomize the start parameter. So by the way, if I hit play right now, all we're hearing is this one clip. By the way, you do need slice on both your flex machines for this, and you want to pre-slice your loops. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but it'll be a lot easier. You'll actually be hitting transients this way. So I'm going to randomize the start parameter, turn the depth all the way up. If you go over here and look at the slices page, you can now see that it's totally randomizing everything every time it encounters a trig. Next LFO I'm going to do is randomize the rate. Yes, the rate. Again, as per Merlin's guide, you want to generate as much random noise as you can all across the frequency spectrum. So the crazier the better. Which means the third thing I'm going to randomize is the time of re-trigger. You can pick whatever parameter you want. I just find this yields some interesting results. Of course, it's randomizing the time right now without actually re-triggering, so I'm just going to set a value here. Maybe 6, maybe 23. You could turn it all the way up. Totally depends. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to utilize an interesting hotkey, which is page and copy. I'm going to bring it over here to my second flex machine. I'm just going to paste that page with all those settings. I can do the same thing for the LFO page, believe it or not. Huge time saver. Bam. Now the other thing that I want to do is I'm going to copy all the trigs here. Like that. Man. The next hotkey that I want to talk about, in case you didn't know this, is once I'm in this edit mode, I want to shift all the trigs by 1 in a certain direction. I just hit function and the arrow keys. Which means now track 1 is on every downbeat and half note. And this is on all the E's and the Ands of the beats. That's track 2. So, that's how you set up your pickup machine, your flex machines. Now let's go to the pickup machine and input some parameters here. I already have them pulled up so you can see what's going on. As per Merlin's post, you're going to zero out in A and B and C and D, and you're going to select source 3Q. For the record length, you're going to set it just to 4, which means only 4 steps at a time. Seems unusual, right? Well, as I mentioned, we'll be able to multiply this to be as long as we like. I'm going to add just a little bit of give on the in and outs like everybody does. And then Cue record, he says, set it to 4 so that it starts recording every 4 steps. And cue play, set to 16, just so that whatever loop is going on will always start at the beginning of this 16-step loop that we're working with. Okay. You could change the trig mode here. I'm pretty sure for these purposes it doesn't matter too much, so I'm just going to leave it at 1. And now this is what we end up with. If I... Let's say that I want to mute this one, listen to 5, basically have random craziness getting spat out of both. At every step there's a new random clip, rate, and retrig time for these 2 different drum loops, which is kind of a good thing, because we can now do something very, very interesting. Because the pickup machine is going to be recording from the cue, I'm going to cue one of these, and I'm going to mute the other. Mute these other 2 tracks just for simplicity's sake. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate track. This is totally optional, but if you turn on track 4 here, I just have a kick, which is 4 on the floor, just as like a rhythmic reference point. And now, effectively, once I hit go, this is cued, which means I'm spitting out a bunch of random noise into the cue outputs, which is exactly what this pickup machine is listening to. At any point now, I can hit record, and it will immediately start building a 4-bar loop on top of itself. So if I let it run for these 16 steps, I will have 4 copies, essentially, of the randomized signal coming out of track 1. Let's see what happens. And... all of a sudden... that gets very chaotic very quickly. And it's because if we watch this little parameter here, it's basically just building up, like I said, for every pass of this 1 bar, more and more randomness like we want. So the way that you can sort of truncate this is hit record and immediately hit stop, right? Okay, so now we got something, again, totally random. Let's open it up and see what we're working with. Incredibly short, right? Should be. It might be, I think, probably 2 instances, so 8 total steps. Here's where the magic comes in. Note this waveform. Now, here's the secret, the magical trick. We're going to go press the track that the pickup machine is 5, and then press MIDI. Multiply. Now let's check what happened. Oh, it doubled its length. Now here's the most insane part. Let's say that we want to add some new randomized variation to this 3rd little gap right here. Not the big buzz in the middle, just the 3rd gap, or approximately around there somewhere. What we can actually do is trigger recording just temporarily into the pickup machine, like this. And now we've added a new layer on that first one. Now we go back out here, and we multiply it again, and let's see what we got. Now it's doubly as long. Let's uncue track 1 and add track 2, or excuse me, track 5 to the cue, our second pickup machine. And now if I want to punch something in, I go, oh, the pickup machine captures it. And I hit stop again. Now we have a completely new, completely randomized loop. Let's try that one more time, just to see what happens, and try to maybe get something that's a little less abrasive. So we're going to hit go. We just have a 4-bar loop. Alright, so this is what the pickup machine caught. Let's multiply that. Twice, in fact. So now that little 4-step thing just got multiplied out to be the length of an entire bar. So now, let's go pick up on what else is randomly happening, this time on a different track. Let's see what track 1 is spitting out for us. And go. Sweet. Totally random, totally bizarre, right? Now, we can go back, hit the pickup machine, MIDI, multiply. It's now doubled its length. It means we can punch things in and out pretty indiscriminately now. Alright, track 5. And the insanity continues. In fact, we can even make it more insane and queue both tracks at the same time. And of course, while we're in the spirit of generating randomness, why not generate some randomness in the pickup machine track itself? Let's go to, I don't know, filter width. And we're gonna say random. Instead of using trigs to manipulate this, I'm gonna just use the mult, set it to free. Adjust some of these filter parameters a little bit. And now the loop isn't constantly going. We're just randomizing the width parameter a little bit. We can even cut down on it so that we can hear more. Very strange, very random, very interesting. Merlin's Guide to Pickup Machine Mayhem. Obviously, this is just the starting point. You can take this in a million different directions very quickly, and I'm sure the wheels are already turning. There are some refinements in that post, which I will post the link in the doobly-doo below, such as using the crossfader to be able to bring in both at the same time and differentiate between the two. But essentially the principle is this. If you're just generating a whole bunch of random anything and you want to be able to randomly punch it in and out of the pickup machine here, all you need to do is verify the length of your sample at hand. Multiply it. See what you're working with. Punch in again. Multiply again. Punch in again. For a long time. Stop it. Multiply it. Stop fucking with the filter. Turn on a whole bunch of fucking reverb. Turn that reverb back off. That sounds bad. Punch in again. This time with a new source. Punch back out. Stop it altogether. See, immediately I start getting carried away. This is how you do it. This is the principle. I hope that if you learned something, again, all credit goes to Merlin. He's amazing. Go check out his stuff. Go check out Electronauts and go get your Octatrack and try this for yourself. Thanks for watching. Bye.